Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning. It is welcome to Beyond Charts Morning Brew. It is 8:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. March 3rd. March 3rd. All right, a lot to cover here. We had Jerome Powell. This week. Yesterday, he's talking today. So ultimately, what he stated yesterday seemed like the market gave the market some confidence. And basically that he knows exactly what he's doing. He's on top of it, kind of like what we expected. We said that, what if he possibly says we delay this? So he stated that they're aware that the war of the Ukraine, that was a pivotal moment for them, for the Fed. The great thing, the ADP numbers came out yesterday as we were talking, and those came out better than expected. So that's the private sector of jobs. So again, it means that Americans are going back to work, which is great. The economy's open. The mask mandates are being lifted, which is leads to basically leads to opening up the economy up again. So again, and does that have to do anything to do with the midterm elections probably coming up? More likely, probably. But as far as the markets, what does that entail for us? So ultimately, at this moment of time, we do expect we see some buyers coming into the marketplace. We had a few misses yesterday. Snow announced earnings yesterday, and they basically stated that it was hard to predict revenue. That was interesting, and it went down. It's pretty interesting. Hard to predict revenue. They're in the hottest market right now, and it's hard to predict revenue. Anyway, most importantly today, I think that I'm trying to find on the news. If you know where it is, let me know. But so there's talks about Russia and Ukraine meeting today for potential ceasefire. So what does that mean? That means if the war is over, that is potentially, war is over, then that could mean that we could rock it. So if we rock it, potentially. Now, if the war continues, then possibly, I don't know. So we'll see. We have some important levels that SPY has held, or the XPX. We're going to check it out. What's up, Perry Williams? What's up? Good morning. So let's see. Let's dive into this. So ultimately today we have crude oil going up, still at $113 a barrel. Ultimately, this won't crater the markets, obviously, but it is going to put a strain on the consumer. So, so if this is the time to raise oil prices, probably now, because nobody's really driving. Summertime is usually the time to drive, but it is going higher. So just know, if the war is over, this could probably come down. What else? We see the futures turning green here on that news of potential war being over. So we'll see. All right. And I noticed some things in the price action yesterday, and I'll discuss that. So we'll see. All right. What else do we have here that I want to discuss? So yesterday, we do have the game plan. I have that Russian game plan. All right. Let's go here. All right. So let's go into the overall markets, and let's see what we can see in the price action. So on this day, which is February 24th, this is Thursday, Wednesday. No, this is Wednesday, Tuesday. This was Thursday last week. We had an up rally, and then something really interesting happened yesterday. I noticed that the patterns have changed in the last 5 weeks. So I think that we're probably going to rally. We're probably going to rally a little higher on this news of war. We see the MACDs turning here, and it looks like this is probably going to stay in this range. The next level up on the XPX is 44.65 on the dailies. Let's see if we can take that out. That's the 200-day moving average. Let's see what happens there. On the, again, we're seeing these divergence happening here, where this low is lower than that low, and we're seeing this low is higher than that low. So that's a divergence here in the MACDs. That's what it's telling me, that more likely we're probably going to go a little bit higher. Maybe, right? So next level up is 44.60. That's the 200-day moving average. And then on the NASDAQ, same type of thing. We're seeing momentum shifting. How long does that go? These are delayed, so we're seeing price movement going a little bit higher. Next level up is 14,636. And then remember, we're far away from that 200-day moving average of 15,000 on the NDX. On the IWM, this thing rallied, and I'll show you what to look for yesterday if you're watching the system. But there were some nice opportunities. Some opportunities setting up today too, but we'll see if there's follow through. So the main thing today is I have noticed that the price action is getting different. It's different than it has been for the last 5 weeks. And what I mean by that is the bots were on this algorithm every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Last Friday, we had a risk on. So basically they bought into the weekend. So what do I mean by that? So they were buying into the weekend. So if this is Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Friday, they were buying into the weekend. That is big. That is huge, big difference where they were selling into a weekend because that was risk off. So is that going to continue? Are we going to have follow through on days like today, this week? This will probably be our first positive week in a long time if we continue at this pace in the last 5 weeks at least. All right. So let's see. Let's dive in. So we have that. As far as the VIX, so let me cover the VIX here because people were asking me about this. So I'm going to cover here. I'm just going to make this a little easier. So this is the VIX right here, the VIX. This is the measurement of fear. And this is where I first noticed it, where we normally had Monday update, right? And then Tuesday was down where fear came down. And this is what I mean by the algos coming in. They would come down, and Wednesday they would base it, and then Friday, Saturday would go up, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Volatility is still pretty high. We're still at 30. Remember, we're at 18 about 5 or 6 weeks ago. So, but, everything that goes up must come down. So, again, this was Monday. This was Tuesday. This is Wednesday. So, the volatility is still pretty high. But if the VIX, it looks like it wants to break down 30. If it starts breaking down 29, starts breaking down 28, that means we're going higher on the XPX. Fear is coming out of the market. So remember, if fear calms down, then that means there's risk on and the markets wants to go higher. So again, just know that, and that's going to give you some, and I'm just sending up some alerts here for myself that if it goes in, because I'm going to be looking for some bullish trades today. Now, if it goes the opposite way, then I'm going to reverse. Now, this was pretty interesting. Yesterday, I discussed how we were on path, and this is the 10-year notes. We were on path of heading higher. Then all of a sudden, this declined pretty dramatically. So anytime something declines pretty dramatically, I want to look into it, and I want to know what was that about. So pretty interesting. There is a war going on. There's a lot of sanctions. And so again, whenever something sells off, right, and this is the notes, it is because some people are buying the bonds. Okay, so what we notice here, and this was the last couple of days, is that the bond market right in here, let me see if I can make this a little bigger. This was due to the sanctions, right? So what happened, a lot of the Russians, a lot of people in Europe were against the sanction, were buying the bonds. So they were buying it, and that means when they buy it, it has to be sold off on the treasury notes, remember. So this is the notes, these are the bonds, these are the inverse, they do the opposite. Okay, what I mean by that, they do the opposite. So clearly what you can see is that one goes down, one goes up, right? They do the opposite. So this was that as I looked into it, it was because of the sanctions and what people were doing. Okay, so just want to, look at that. But ultimately, I did like what Powell said yesterday. He expecting about 25 basis points next quarter, and that was expected. I think the market was predicting about 50 basis points. But he said that we could increase it 50 basis points at any meeting. So anyway, he's going to be talking today, but I think that the bulk of his message was heard yesterday. They're on top of it. Really answered really well. He discussed oil. He didn't really, they asked him about oil, and he just said it's just a supply and demand issue. They don't expect oil to remain high, which I agree with him. At some moment, there could be an influx of supply. Don't know if the Keystone pipeline is going to be reopened. Probably not, but any pipeline can be open and create more supply, and then that will diminish the oil. But don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. That's to do with our president. All right. So again, we have that. As far as the opportunities today, guys, so I have the futures market here on the E-minis. These are a little bit delayed on TradingView. But let me see here if I can. Okay, let me see if I can. So we got the E-minis on the hourlies and the futures here. So right now, futures market is going a little bit higher. So again, this is telling me that the overnight action, we didn't sell off. So we didn't sell off for the last 3-4 days. Look at the action. We're at the highs here. And this is telling me that more likely it wants to go a little bit higher. We're at that 4,400. Yesterday, we hit our targets. We hit our targets. Every target that I put on Patreon, we hit our target. Hope you guys made money. Try to make this as easy as possible for you guys, for the guys that are supporting the Patreon page and also the classes. Just kind of giving you my extra game plan as I go into them. These are released every evening, so you can have more than time to prepare for your trades. And then this morning we just it's just more of an assessment, kind of going, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's on point, it's on target. So right now, okay, what's the name of that vertical volume indicator I use? I think I have it on your E-minis. Vertical volume. Don't know. Don't know. Were you talking about this one? This one? Oh, this one? Vertical. So it'd be horizontal. Yeah. I'll let you know. Yes, it's a volume indicator. It's a volume indicator, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so right now the E-minis right now working his way higher. These are a little bit delayed. So we're gonna look at SPY for a better predicament, but 43.92. As far as the XPX, guys, here it is. Yeah, all week, as we trade here, remember we trade the hourlies and we trade the 15-minute time frame on the 50-day moving average. So this week, the beginning of the week, I said something big was about to happen, right? So let's analyze this for a little second. So, and this is what I mean something has changed, is that in the last 5 weeks, you clearly hit the 50s, maybe we had a few moments here above it, and then we sold off. So currently, this is the level we're supposed to sell off. But again, I think that everything that it's already priced in. Like we were pricing in a 50 basis point. We were pricing in, inflation. We were pricing in unemployment. But unemployment is getting better. So I think that the war wasn't priced in, and we didn't predict that, and that's why it sold off pretty hard. So I think this was already priced in, but the war, and then I think it just got ahead of itself. Now, at this moment, this is the war, right? This is who we have currently, right? And if there's a ceasefire, I think that's already priced in, and the market could go higher. Now, if there's other elements, if there's other unknowns, uncertainty, which is China, Taiwan, I don't think that's going to happen soon, but anything is possible. But as far as everything that the market knows about inflation, the basis point, that's already priced in. Those are known material. That's known news. So with that being said, I think the market wants to go higher, right? I mean, we didn't sell off, right? We held at 50, and now we're bouncing higher. Yesterday was the entry for the XPX, right? You bounce off the 50, got a MACD, and you had them both at the 50-day moving average, right? We had them both. Right. So now today is there going to be follow through, right? So we have the E-minis right now, 43.91. That's going to put us right at the top here of 44.01. So that was the high of the XPX. Can we hold that, or is it going to sell off? Now, the other thing we also noticed is that all the moving average converge. They bounce and they converge as well. Here is a little bit not as clean as I would like it to see, but overall, we're probably going to pull back, except this is delayed. So let's look at the SPY here, and this is the levels for today. So as you can tell, the SPY, we hit our levels yesterday. So this was the levels that we had. This is the levels I posted on the Patreon page, and we just hit them. So 438, 439 was the targets. We hit them to a T. So I laid that out for you guys, and I also had the bottom. So today, this is the levels for today, but pre-market looks like we're probably going to hit it. So can go up to 442. Let's see what happens there. The MACDs right now are still going away, so it could probably go up there, and let's see what happens, how it reacts there. It's too far away from the 50. So let's see. Now remember, every point here is 10 points on the XPX. So 1 point, 10 points, okay? But rallying right now. So if you held some calls yesterday, still into it, you know, you're going to be doing really, really well, all right? Because the market's above the 50-day moving average. This is the hourlies on the SPY. So the levels are there for you. I give these out. My line in the sand for today is 436, meaning that we're probably going to be bullish until we break below that. And then this is my line right here of 434 or 43.40 on the XPX. If we start breaking below that, which is around the 50-day moving average, then we're probably going to looking at some bearish trades and looking for the MACD. So that's the setup here that I have. But great job if you guys got into that. And that is given to you for on Patreon at night at around 8, 9 o'clock. I'll release those Eastern Standard Time. All right, and it's there here for you now if you want. All right, so the 50-minute time frame still working its way higher. Let's see again that 43, 44, 440. Let's see if there's some, if it can get through. So again, we need a little bit of follow through here. That's the name of today. Is it going to be follow through? If the news hits the wire of the war is over, then we're probably going to break out. So get your calls ready. This will probably be sell on news, but it'll be probably ready. Awesome. All right. So let's look here. So we got that one. As far as momentum movers, let's see about the momentum. Let's see if we can get that going. And let's see. So we have the XPX. All right. So as far as the movers here, I do have a couple that I liked. I'm liking Google. I think Google can probably move. I'm liking the Amazon, and Tesla can probably move. So let's look at it from a different point of view here. And I'm just going to go down. And again, we're looking at the hourlies. And all right. So Russell, let's go to Russell. Russell rally nicely. Let's look at Google. All right. So Google is right at that 50-day moving average right there, right? And it's looking pre-market like it wants to run. So Google has been held down, guys, pretty held down. So if the war is over, can Google break above? And it has a big move coming up. So pre-market right now, but Google can change. So don't fall in love right now. Let's rewatch it at 9:15 or 6:15 your time, or whatever time frame you're in. But let's look at it. But Google can probably move. So let's see if it moves. Today is Thursday. Remember, Google likes to move on Fridays. Can probably go up to a 27.55, 27.68. It can move, right? This thing can move, and it's been wound up nicely. It's been wound up between these levels right here, 26.61 and 27.15, right in there. So again, pre-market, we're looking at 27.04 and 26.60. So it's going to move. If it breaks any one of those levels, it's probably going to go. As far as and we're right at the hourlies. It doesn't stay there very long, guys. So if we look, I had a whole day. We just had an inside day yesterday. Look at all the moving averages kind of coming in together. And let's see. It looks like the 4-day right now is trying to bounce. If this thing can start breaking 26.06, it's probably going to run today to the upside. And you got 27.25. And then if it breaks that, it's gone. Okay. On the downside, because we never know if the war goes back on, just know it's going to be news dependent. If it takes out 26.60, it's probably going to go down to about 26.33, maybe down to 2600. Right in here, it's probably going to go to 2600, right in there. Okay, so again, that's one there. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon is closing down a lot of its stores. Brick and mortar stores, so that's great, and it popped a little bit based on that. That means they're reducing their expenses. So again, watch Amazon. Amazon's winding up now. Amazon has it to the downside here on the hourlies, but let's see, anything can happen. If it can take out 3060. 3060 can probably run to 3090. If it takes out 3090, it's gone. That means it's very bullish and people are buying it. But again, it's just been winding up. So it can go to the downside as well. Right now it's trading right at the 50, below the 50. Let's watch for the 15 moving, the 15 time frame, 15-minute time frame. It's right there. So let's see what happens closer to 9:15, but get yourself ready. A big move is probably imminent. We have Tesla. Tesla is ready to rock and roll. Gas prices are at $112 or $113 a gallon. So what I mean by that, are we going to have a day two? We bounced off the 50-day hour. We had an hourly movement yesterday. I said this yesterday, and we bounced, right? We sold off a little bit, then we came back, and then it moved. So right at that 50, that 846, it coincides with here, and we bounced and went higher. Now, Tesla wants to run. Now, here's the thing. What number is up there on Tesla? So let's take a look. The number that I see is around 890, 890, 890, 890, 890, 890. Write that down, 890 if you're trading Tesla. If it takes out 890 or 888 right in there, you could take a trade right now. All moving averages are converging. It's telling momentum is building up nicely on the hourlies. If we can get the MACDs to start turning and the market reacting with oil prices this high, these guys are going to run. Remember, Ford came out something with like their EVs, they're spinning it off, and their margins are really, really small. They're only like 10% margins, right? Where Tesla's margins are like 40%. So which one are you going to invest in, right? Are you going to invest in the person that's responsible for 3/4 of the cars or EV cars out on the road, or the person who's just coming out and doesn't really know if their battery life is that well? Because it's all about the battery. And the margins are really thin. So again, I don't see why people on TV are comparing these two. They're two different animals. But anyway, if we take that out, guys, we're probably going to go to about that 920, 928, right in there. Let's say 920 to 28. And then we have a big number there at 950. 950 is huge, 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 huge. Okay, so just know that. And that's one right there on Tesla. So ISRG moved yesterday, too far away. Again, it just rallied. Let's see how it comes back to that 296. So we don't have it on the hourlies. We could get, if there's follow through and they start building a position, then they're going to build it on the 15-minute time frame. That's where we develop the system. It's a follow through system. Okay, we had a breakout a couple of days ago, and now we'll see. CMG is acting a little weird. I wrote these down already, so I already know. So I'm just going to give it to you so we can save some time. So then CMG right there is holding that 50-day moving there after this sell-off. It looks like it probably wants to run. This is yesterday. It's at the 15-minute time frame. Let's see if the MACDs can turn, or is it going to go lower, right? So the MACD is going to tell you there's follow through. If it starts breaking lower, it's probably going to come down there and just kind of chill here for a second. If you see the MACD's breaking through and it starts breaking the 1500, which is a nice round number, then we're probably going to take off. We're probably going to go to about maybe 1524. That's a nice target for today. Let me see. Tesla in the video. I already wrote it down, but okay. So Apple yesterday had a nice bounce off the 50-day. And right there. So this is exactly where we like to trade it. I can't trade everything, guys, but if you're looking for the system, then we look at the hourlies, and then we look at the hourlies and the 15-minute time frame. You had them both yesterday with the MACDs right here. Boom, boom, boom. This is exactly what we like to trade, and these are probably our highest probability trade that we teach here at Beyond Charts. So this is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. If you're looking for something, that's it. Now today, is it too late? No. Is there going to be follow through? We'll see. It's bouncing off the 50. Looks at this follow through. Apple usually has a stock that has follow through. If Apple can get above 170, guys, that's going to be a signal that's going to be risk on. They're buying. They're back. The money's coming back into tech. All right, so I already kind of done this already. So let me look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is one that looks like it's prime. Again, this was a darling, and we're noticing. So right now for today, we got the price action at the 50 and at the 50 on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so if the market is good today, it could run today. We have them at the 50. This is the highest probability trade that we got. It's 239. It's at 241. How high can it go? Maybe 244 and maybe 247, right? If they start buying. Remember, NVIDIA got sold off pretty hard. It just had a dividend recently, and they're buying it after the dividend. So again, watch NVIDIA. Watch it right there. Now, the one thing about NVIDIA that I have to say, if the war is over, they're going to benefit because a lot of the material that the chips need comes from Ukraine. So it's that's why NVIDIA was getting hurt and a lot of the chips. But if the war is over, then there's more of that material for the chips, and these could rocket. These guys are making money. So we have that. As far as Bitcoin, let me go into Bitcoin. And again, I just have it up here on the hourlies. But if we go here, Bitcoin just kind of staying sideways, broke the 50. This is a lot of the Ukraine, a lot of short covering as well on Bitcoin because it is traded on the futures market. So again, but we do like it. We see a lot of momentum here. Is it going to stay here and base for a little bit? 4,600. But I did see momentum building up. We do like this divergence here. Good time to maybe add Bitcoin because I think Bitcoin is actually going sideways if we look at it from a longer point of view. And if we look at it from a weekly point of view, again, MACDs are about to turn on the weeklies here. If it can break here through and break that 50, then it's probably going to go a little bit higher. We're getting closer to the end than the beginning. So as far as here, again, on the monthlies, we're basing. We're still pretty positive. The lows it hit was 32,000, somewhere in 33. So we'll see. MicroStrategy working his way higher. Let me go back here. So MicroStrategy is going to follow Bitcoin, and I'll show you what that looks like on MSTR because that was when you could have traded as well, right? So we look at the same type of system here, and you had it here, right? So again, at the 50, you thought Bitcoin was going to go. And why you look at this? Because this thing moves. It's 357 to about 457. So you had a 100-point move right there in the last couple of days. So is Bitcoin going to move? Well, it's probably, probably going to pull back to that 438 on MicroStrategy. What else do we got? We got Coin. Let's look at Coin. And then I'm going to cover, let's look at Coin. So Coin right there at the 50. At the 50, this is ready to rock and roll. Let's see if it can move. Now, this Bitcoin dependent. If we get a rally here, Coin can go. It can probably go to about 206, about 10 points, and then, but just know they're selling it right there. There's a lot of pressure right there. It's closer to 200. So just watch that one. What else do we got? We got Qualcomm. Again, Qualcomm rally really, really nicely. It's right at the 50. Pre-market looking pretty good. Bouncing off the 50. Can it run? Okay, it's already running. So again, 172, 174, currently 170. Again, is there going to be follow through? If the war is over, then this thing is going to run. Remember the chips. What else? All these things are moving now. Wow. We got AMAT right there at the 50, 133. So I'm giving you both 137. Kind of done the homework here. 141 could move. Watch it right there. AMAT looks ready. Okay, what else do we got? There's one more. Okay, so that's what we have. Let me just look real quick here if any new developments have occurred. Tesla running. It's probably going to run, guys. It's close to that 890. It's going to run, especially with high oil prices. What else do we got? Goldman Sachs going higher. Okay, so Goldman, nice rally yesterday. Boom, rallying. It's hard for the XPX to go down with the market up. NVIDIA starting to run. We have Apple starting to run. All right, so that's a good news for the XPX. That's what we're running. Shopify getting close. Let's look at Shopify real quick. And I think if the market is positive, Shopify could run. Okay, so it is 958. So where we're at, Shopify at the 50 is coming to the end here in the MACD. We don't have it at the 50, but we have it at the end. So if this starts turning and then this starts running, it's probably going to run maybe to about 688, somewhere in there, maybe 680, 688, right in there. Has a little headwind right there, 668. But if it has wins, I think if the market starts going positive, it's probably going to help Shopify. This thing has been hammered. So there's one there for you guys. We have a lot of trades here. Now, these are going to be a little pricey on the option side. So just know that. On the chip side, again, if that war is over, then you're going to see these move, like MicroStrategy, Micron moved, Roblox starting to move right now. So again, but it has some headwinds, $48, can probably hit up to 51. Not a big mover, but here, it's going to be cheaper options. Broadcom starting to move. Okay, let's see here. If it can take out that 590, there's definitely that 600 level that is going to be there, but this thing has been hammered pretty well. All right. What else do we got? All right. Let me look at the QQQs and kind of give you these trades. This is the NDX here, or the NASDAQ. NASDAQ rallying pretty well, 346. It's it's trying to run. So again, it's all signs are leading to the Nasdaq. So don't fall in love here. Nasdaq is moving pre-market. Let's see if it can run. What are the next levels on the Nasdaq? On the QQQs, it's probably gonna be that 357, 351, 355, and 357. Now remember, these are about 10 points, so it's moving pre-market, looking pretty good. IWM moving. This is a Russell 2000. So again, looks like money's coming back in pre-market. It's 9 o'clock. Okay, so it's running. All right, so let's see. VIX is crossing. There we got the VIX, guys. So again, so is risk on. Money's coming back into the market. I gave you a few here, guys. So it's 9 o'clock. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have a couple here on your list. I'm going to get ready and I'm going to look at those possibilities for today. I'm getting excited. And yeah, oh, Perry Williams. Awesome, bro. Awesome. I'm glad, happy you took that XPX trade. All right. So we have a few to work here with. So let's see, go out there, go get it, guys. There's a few. This is the market, trade the markets that's given to you. Pay attention to the news. I don't know what's going to happen, but it looks like if that war is over, then we're going to rally. Again, and I gave you the levels here. I gave it to you yesterday. Let me see if I have it. Here's the game plan for yesterday. And so my experience is the market was soon since the window, blah, blah, blah. And I think that we can probably trade to 4,500, 4,600. Based on these levels here. So these were the levels I gave on Patreon. All right, guys, hope you enjoy that. And all right, go out there, go get it. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.